Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Seeking Heaven channel. I'm your host, Tamara Caulder Richardson, a six-time near-death experiencer, evidential medium, Christ, and ultra-dimensional channeler, as well as Contactee. And we have a fabulous guest on today. I've been so excited about having her on. And wow, it's finally happening. And that's Vivian Chauvet. We're going to talk more about her. She is an Arcturian hybrid and ambassador, as well as an intergalactic communicator. And we're going to be speaking to her soon. First, I want to give you a couple announcements, and then we will begin this amazing journey together with Vivian. Okay, so everybody sign up on the Galactic Origins cruise. We're going to be heading out December 14th through the 21st. We'll be having lots of adventures. You can register at the galacticorigins.cruise.com. And Viviane Chauvet and her lovely husband, Peter Benson, will be there joining us. So, you could even use both our names on there. Bring a friend and put both our names, but they're going to be there. 20 other approximately speakers that are going to be talking about some amazing topics. I'm going to be talking about the Sirians and also Sirius B. But B was a lot of fun, a lot of mermaid life, a lot of aquarians. So please join us. Also consider joining my Academy of Divine Wisdom, where you can get free and paid for very affordable courses. And also I have events. You can get a free Christ-like meditation, the same one that I saw in my near-death experience. Several things that are free on there. I highly encourage you. I do a very good job on these and put a lot of thought into it. So please take advantage of that. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Check out my starseed services. I also offer evidential mediumship and life path. Finally, check out my store. And I have lots of original galactic and angelic merchandise. So check it out. I'm very excited. I have been excited. I've been wanting her on for some time. But I want to talk about Vivian Chauvet. She is an Arcturian ambassador as well as an Arcturian hybrid. She's going to tell us all about it. She's a intergalactic communicator, as well as a teacher, a healer. She's a published author. I know she's worked on several documentaries. She can tell us about that. She's also the host of Infinite Star Connections podcast. She's also the creator of the Arcturian Energy Matrix Healing and Healing Arts program, Enlightenment to this whole intergalactic communities. She has her best-selling book series, which is called Wisdom of the Silver Sisters, Guiding Grace, Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends and Legacies, and The Imaginist, and they're all on Amazon, and you can check that out. We're going to be going over a lot of things. We're going to put the website below. I do want to mention her channel. She does have a YouTube channel, and you can see that at Vivian Chauvet Galactic Healer. And her website will be below, but it is Infinite Healing from the Stars. So with that, I'm going to bring on Vivian because we have a lot to cover and we're going to blast off like a rocket.
That sounds like a good plan, Tamara. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I want to welcome everyone watching this. It's such a joy to be in your presence.
I want to find out about you, about how you found out you were an Arcturian hybrid. What was your earliest memory? Did you have to get regression? How did you uncover this about yourself and your evolved soul and who you are? How did that occur? And just jump right in there.
Let's jump because it's a beautiful interdimensional journey. And the goal is to inspire everyone, all the starseed, the light workers, humanity, the whole soul, everybody to awaken, and even the animal kingdom, because we have to think about all sentient life forms. It's something we repeat all the time. So in my case, it's more of an organic, natural knowingness, no regression required. I had no need to go through a spiritual awakening. It really came naturally. That is because when you talk about myself as an Arcturian hybrid, well, the hybrid part of myself is my physical vessel. My body is the hybrid. I am not a hybrid. I am an intergalactic being who came from another species called the Arcturians, and I am very conscious of it. It's something I've always known all my life, even as a child. I know I'm looking through the eyes of this vessel who feel, relate to, and really integrate itself into the biological experience of the Earth in that sense. So to you, I look human, but not to my galactic delegation. So for all these beautiful groups that I work with, even those, the beings or the star beings on the planet, they always refer to me as an Arcturian. So this is why it's very organic for me and very natural, because inside of this body, I can tell that my soul emanation or my spark or that aspect of my being, I know that I am this intergalactic being and I am experiencing another species form, embody this form so I can feel what's going on here. I want to understand. I want to go back to the ABCs. I want to be part of the journey. We, as my Arcturian delegation and the Council of Light, felt it would be a lot more effective this way, a lot more positively impactful to go that route rather than stay in my Arcturian original self and communicating with a lot of gifted people or other starseed on the planet. And we do that. We do work with a lot of people on the planet because I know that many of you are relating to us in terms of frequencies, our guidance. You've been on board our ship. You remember an aspect of us, but you remember only an aspect of what the Arcturians are. I represent the true nature aspect of them. I am the embodiment of their nature because I am one of them, just in this hybrid humanized form. So that's what makes a difference in my case. This is why I've always known.
Wow, that's a mouthful. So since you've always known that you're an Arcturian, even as a child, did they have to? I say they because it's you too, so I get that. But your family, Arcturian family, did they have to pick a human family that was complementary to your DNA?
Indeed, we did. So it was a beautiful, and it still is a beautiful generational partnership. So what I mean by that is that it did not happen overnight. It took many generations of communication through grandmothers, great grandfathers, other ancestors to the lineage. And of course, we look at soul group connection here. So we look at a soul group, and all these souls knew they were coming into a certain lineage, and we embody certain lineage characteristic or virtues of qualities in their DNA and who they are as well at a soul level. Consciousness, being able to work with in a very advanced, very ancient intergalactic groups to bring forth in their lineage eventually what you would call a hybrid child. So this is why in my case, the word hybrid is really, really much utilized in a whole different reality because of that partnership. So it's been going on, and I remember when we were communicating even with my grandparents, especially on my both sides, mother and father from the human lineage, and being able to prepare them and them having their own contact. For example, Tamara, on my human dad lineage, my French grandmother, she grew up in France, and as a child, she would remember seeing what you will call flying saucers or spaceship coming in and having beings coming in, communicating with her. And she was communicating with different species, including us, as in preparation for what was coming in. It doesn't mean that they retain everything consciously, but it's a very partnership to the soul. It is done in a way that with respect, it is an agreement. Nothing is forced. Everything is organic. And one of the beauty of this is that even to this day, my human parents still are in full communication with my Arcturian family, and they communicate with each other. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So to take this a step further, to people watching and so forth, and to get a little clarity on this, you're unique because this is something that you came in purely with the consciousness of Arcturian for this purpose, where others one of the ways you were saying is like with your family line to kind of to have this communication to prepare it. But yours as a soul being were already prepared. What about other hybrids? And I want to ask you this. I know we're jumping, but this is where we are. So let's go here. Like, for example, I have a friend. I just talked to her yesterday. Really lovely. And then she shared for me 2 years ago, she's on this ship. And I'm like, she's so not like that. She's like kind of religious. She's not interested really in this at all. And I'm like, really? And I said, well, what happened? And she goes, well, at first the wall disappeared, and then I'm somewhere else, and then I'm in this lobby of this ship, and then I'm kind of waiting, and they said, okay, it's your turn. And she goes, I don't really feel frightened, but the whole experience weirds me out. I don't want to talk about it. I said, well, what happened afterwards? She goes, well, my abilities of because she's a psychic medium, she goes, really heightened. And I was like, really? And so why is it that she doesn't want to look at that? Maybe it doesn't want to fit her worldviews, but then why is somebody like me like, yeah, I want to know all about it. I want to know the history. I want to know what's going on. I want to know my star family. I want to know because I remember many lifetimes being on other planets. The more that we can merge the two our higher, I would say, higher human consciousness with our intergalactic soul, I mean, the better the evolution of planet Earth, and I think really all star systems could benefit from this. How does that work? Why do some hybrids? Why are they get it, they know it, and others don't? And I guess I mean you're in the starseed community because you're working with other hybrids. You know them. Why are some so drawn to it and remember, and others do not?
It's a very beautiful and yes, multi-layered, complicated question because it really depends on first the agreement, the soul blueprint. What may be perfect for one will not be the same for the other. But when you compare yourself, you go, well, why this person who grew up in a background of religion? And I would say it's irrelevant because it has nothing to do with what is your human background, cultural background, religion background, or what identity you took on. Is who you are. And so all these agreements are part of your blueprint. And so, for you, for example, Tamara, because you're so in tune with who you are and your beautiful Syrian family, there's no need for you to go through this kind of experience. You have it in a different way that's supporting you the best because you're already in alignment. So for someone like your friend, needed to have a big, I would say, cultural shock, change and being able to
Okay.
accelerate, okay, and accelerating that part of herself, that one may be a necessary step for her. You don't need to because you're already embodying that.
Oh, that was such a beautiful answer, and it totally makes sense. Okay, so that's why she's so freaked out. She's positive that every ET, ultra-dimensional, that there's something demonic going on. I'm like, yeah, not really. And that's why we're going over on the Galactic Origins cruise, which you'll be there too, and your husband Peter, which I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That we'll be going over the Bermuda Triangle, which they fixed that, but still, it's not the point. It's an old portal, been shut down, but still, the fact I was like, oh, good, maybe we'll go off and hang out, have like a party, walking around, and be with our star family for a while, and then they could just drop us back, and only like a minute's passed.
Well, and that's the beauty, yes. So all the above for the Galactic Cruise Origin, the Galactic Origin Cruise, I mean, definitely we're going to be there together, and I'm thrilled to be part of it. But for us, on the linear artificial time, it'll be a minute. Well, on the soul universal level, it's going to be maybe like, hours or an entire day of connecting. And it's always perfect that way. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. You talk about also about the word hybrid. But the word hybrid it's a word that the linguistic field around it, or the vibrational meaning of it, has shifted tremendously. And okay, so allow me to maybe a little bit explore around it. So this way it brings perspective and we're redefining semantics around that. So the way I talk about myself, that the word hybrid, it really applies uniquely in my own unique, my unique self, the way I came about as a prototype. Human race as a species, they will be considered as a species or hybrid. Why? Even though physically their forms are more in tune with the earth plane and they're more in tune with Gaia energies, their DNA template contains a multitude of galactic origins or encoding. So in that form, we can consider that the human race will be looked at as species of hybrid because of their galactic origin right in the encoding of their DNA template. That's another form. When we talk about star seeds who also say, I'm also a hybrid, they have to redefine how it applies to them. So for example, some of the star seeds or a soul emanation that represent another civilization or a star system, they come in and they enter the body when the mother is pregnant, and they're born that way, so to the birth canal and the way humans understand birth, right? And then during the pregnancy, the mother may be consciously or unconsciously connecting with that star family group, and they may just add additional DNA in the body to help that soul as a support system, okay? But then,
Oh,
okay,
cool. I
right,
get it. That is
yeah.
cool. Okay.
So that would be considered as a hybrid, but again, nothing to do like myself or an entire species. It's also very different. Whatever is added to support that soul, that was determined again prior to their mission on the planet. Everything is pre-planned. It's not just you don't drop like this, like a rock on the planet, say, good luck, you know.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, that is beautiful because there's an order to things. And I always say, in the angelic or the higher realms, the light realms, there's still an order to things. There's a beautiful flow of the way things originate, and it's not forced in any kind of way. So this makes sense. So let me ask you this: what about, since we're on this whole DNA thing? Gosh, this is so great that you can answer these things. All right, our DNA, right? So what is it? We're supposed to have 23 strands. How many strands do we actually have, and why are they not turned on yet? And why are some starting to turn on? And how do we do that?
Yeah, again, beautiful multi-question. So at this point, I would lovingly say it's no longer about really how many strands you have, it's to recognize the complexity of your DNA strand. It's to allowing yourself to shift out of the linear one double helix configuration or, just two strand. If you accept that you can release that concept as a linear and releasing also the concept from scientific research that the rest of the DNA is junk. If you're able to move beyond that label and you
Right.
start to understand on a quantum level or higher intelligence level how your DNA is very much intertwined with your level of consciousness. So yes, eventually, if you look at the original human template, it will be returning into even a 24-point configuration, and that 24-point configuration will expand tremendously over time as the human race return into its original self. But for the time being, if you can even conceptualize or imagine to your third eye and in your heart that your DNA template is a vibrational living aspect of you that is really vibrationally in tune and influenced by your thought belief systems, whether what you've absorbed, accepted from outside source, like religion, faction, any religion, doesn't matter, or cultural background, upbringing, society, anything that you absorb and you feel it becomes a part of you, or your own belief system, then your DNA will show itself in a way that it will correspond to that evolution, which is why that it's more important right now and moving forward, focus more on the conscious evolution, opening that field of awareness and understanding that your DNA is evolving with you. Everything evolves with you, if that makes
Oh, I got the chills.
sense.
Oh my gosh, that's so communicated. The DNA is this is such great news. It's evolving with us. So when I look at my DNA and I kind of look inside, I do like if you were to say a body, a micro scan and go in, it looks like that it would be, first of all, it's moving and it's forming. It's like it's light molecules. It's all light, and it's the most pure light. I ran. What was I doing something a couple days ago? Anyway, I was looking at my Akashic records, and they were pulled out of it looked like a vault in the library. It was a very big library. So it was just my own, by the way. And pulled it out. Everybody's got a big library. And pulled it out, and they were all light. I had two seraphim pull them out, and you could only read it through light code, and it was dimensional, and it was only light. And then I'm thinking, well, isn't that also with our spectrum of not being able to see certain things, because we have to engage in that bioluminescence within us so we can start reading light energy and light. When they say light language, not just, "Alashi como la talla," but actually going in and reading dimensional information. I mean, that's what the DNA is, dimensional information. Is that right?
Precisely, precisely. So because it is interdimensional even and dimensional information, the encoding of the light codes, the language, the consciousness behind it transcend everything that has been ever thought so far within the third dimensional conscious field of this linear, artificial time linear construct. So really much so is as you're rediscovering yourself and accepting about yourself that you are a dimensional being and all these dimensional energies coexist with you, even your physical form. If you look at the human template, we look at the holographic aspect of it. always see its pixel of light that correspond, connect with each other, create either frequencies, density, and everything. So the body is made of pure spaces, and there's a lot of vibration going through. Again, it's all interconnected to your emotional state, mental state. Where do you believe the most? Where are you invested the most? And what are also the program that is really stored right into the subconscious archive that kind of repeat itself like old movies that goes round and round and round.
I got it. I've had a lot of past life regression, and most was just they just were not on this planet.
Right.
and I remember what a time. I mean, a particular time being Arcturian where I was in a temple working with the elements, and I working with the water, and I was creating this energy source coming out of the pyramid, and I remember what it was like to be Arcturian, and we were very much so into scribes and very much so we like information, especially if it's very helpful. But I do remember that. I remember being different things that didn't even look human at all, or that
Mhm.
were light bodies. And so I think that if people cannot just be stuck on this human form, even though we like it, we're here right now, but that opening our consciousness to what is consciousness. And I can tell you, for having 6 near-death experiences, I didn't need a body to think. I was thinking quite well, and I could. And matter of fact, it was very freeing. So, all right, the hybrids, that's really helping on that. And I think people watching that will be helpful. And the star seeds, they're what you're saying, that definition that we have now, because definitions change, words change, the meaning, that's someone who's kind of looking for characteristics in the early stages where they might be, which is fine. You got to start somewhere. But the hybrids are ones you're saying that they're different levels of hybridization coming in, and how they're connected. And some are more aware and cognizant of that. So if that's being said, then really all star races or all planetary consortiums, I guess this would be a question. They all have DNA hybrid programs. That would be right. It would have to be.
No, not necessarily.
Really? Okay.
Okay. The thing about that's another big to our perspective when we look at the way even Gaia sentient field or conscious field is evolving, we are noticing sometimes some confusion of semantics or concept intertwined even in the spiritual community, in the UFO community. You know, the word hybrids, or for example, the word hybrid program. It doesn't mean that because the earth was designed as a garden of life, multi-species to come, as a garden of evolution for different consciousness that is reflecting everywhere in the multiverse. You know, some of the other species we encounter, they don't need to have those hybrids energy, and others will be purely hybrid a civilization because over time they've been a mix of two civilizations, or they may have a reminiscence of a DNA on an ancestors, but the way they have evolved, we can no longer really apply the word hybrid. So I think it's something that is going to continue to evolve here on the planet in terms of understanding, recognizing, and accessing also these ancient memories. And you talk about remembering some of your past life or time cycles within the Arcturian realm. And when you said, "Oh, we like to collect information," but to the human mind, it will attribute information to knowledge. This is not how we perceive it. It's not information, is the perfection of how we can cultivate higher form of knowledge so we can integrate that into our being and continue to maintain ourselves into, a complete harmonization and balance. So again, I want to extrapolate that word because here on the planet, people go, "Oh, I need more information. The Arcturian do it, so I have to do it too." And like, no, 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 no.
Well, I didn't say that properly. Sometimes there's lack of words, but
That's okay.
you said it much prettier.
Well, and I understood you. I just want to, for the audience who's watching, to make sure that it's not about the information. It's about the knowledge, the wisdom. It's about rediscovering your inner universe. This is what we're here for. It's rediscovering, like a prism of light, all the facets of our being and who we really are. And I think that's the greatest exploration we can really maintain right now.
Are you kidding? So I like this. I like this challenge. I like the challenge. Let's get rid of hybrid because it sounds too test tubey. You know, it sounds like someone's playing Frankenstein, and to me, that I don't like that. That's the problem as it is with consciousness. It's not that, and we are consciousness, and we are interdimensional. And right now, I'm sure we're on multiple planes in other forms as well as here. There's a lot going on, so we that limits us.
Beautifully said, actually, Tamara. I love that. I really love how you're allowing limiting energy to become limitless. And that really opened the gateway. It's an invitation. It really invites everyone to go beyond what they have learned so far and says, okay, where am I with this? And what aspect of what I've learned am I really practicing, cultivating, embodying? And this is where true evolution takes place.
And I love how it's the evolution of consciousness. I mean, that's to me, that just is powerful because it's not just consciousness from a like a Freudian point of view or any of these things of, but it's just to we there are things on this earth and whether it be words or concepts that I think trap us. And to me, I truly want to be free. And that means, willing to stand in nothingness to receive, to look at things in purity in their purest form. But that may not be in alignment with what, we've been accustomed to. Please subscribe, like, and make comments, and support this channel by becoming a member. Thank you for your continued support.